I'm going to show you how I made this classic curved railing with a joinery system that is 100% invisible. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to make an offset with two quarter-turn fittings. An offset is used when a railing has to go around the corner of a wall on a flight of stairs. You can buy a factory-made offset, but they are 5 inches center to center. If the offset you need is smaller or larger than 5 inches, you'll have to make your own. This is not easy, probably one of the most challenging tasks in a stair builder's job description. But it can be done using a few tricks of the trade. Once I have the quarter turns cut to the proper dimensions, I will be connecting them with the Lamello Invis, an invisible connector system that uses a powerful magnet to tighten hidden fasteners inside the railing components. As you will see, the Invis is the ideal tool for making a custom offset. Let's get started on that process. So we've done a down and dirty clamping of the two fittings together to establish that kind of joint or an idea of what we're looking for, but sometimes it's helpful to actually make a diagram of what you want to accomplish. You can see here in this picture that the stringer is tight to the wall. This line here represents the wall. This is the 2 1/8 inch space we need from the edge of the wall to the edge of the railing so that the brackets will work properly. So in essence, what we have to do is make a joint, and there's going to be roughly 5/16 of an inch between the two railings. The one going up the stringer that's going to take the balusters, and the one that's going up the wall that'll sit on the brackets. This is how we're going to accomplish cutting that fitting. We're going to hot glue it to a scrap piece of melamine and just make sure it's parallel to this edge. So the whole idea there is that you get a nice 90-degree cut both ways by gluing this to a square piece of melamine. So basically, because this offset is going to be so tight, we can't actually cut at a 90 on each of the fittings for it to fit right because of the curve. And it's kind of hard to explain. But what we've done is we've just drawn out on a piece of melamine. This is where the railing from the post is going to go. And I'll just take this off. And this is where the railing the fitting for going up the stairs is going to go. So what I've done is I've marked where these two curves intersect. So I've marked here and here. I've marked this railing on the bottom. You can see that mark there. And here. And then I've marked this fitting so that those two cuts will meet flush, and then we can do some joinery on there of some kind. But you can see, because of how these two curves, you have to pick a point on each side where the curves intersect. And it's one of those things where I think you just have to experiment on your own and kind of figure it out. But one of the easiest ways is to actually draw it out on a piece of sheet goods so you can figure out your best plan of attack. This is actually the hardest thing there is to do in carpentry, and certainly in railing construction. Once I mark my pencil lines, I hot glue the fittings upside down on a piece of melamine so I can rough cut them on the miter saw. I'm making this rough cut about a 1/16 large, so that I can make a finish cut once I orientate the fittings into their final position right side up. Now you'll see that the rough cuts don't completely line up here. That's because when the fittings are hot glued upside down, there may be a slight rotation on either of the fittings. Then I cut the melamine off at 90 degrees so I can make the final cut. I've lightened the blade up at the proper angle and I'm simply straddling the joint between the two fittings with the blade. The logic here is that if you cut these two pieces simultaneously, you'll get a perfect joint. All right, so I think this should work. So now you can see that cut is going to work. That's what For more detailed information on the Lamello Invis, check out the in-depth video on my channel on how to use the Invis system. There, that's a nice joint. So my initial plan was to do all of the joints in this S-shaped railing component with the Invis connectors, but there's a fly in the ointment. As you can see, there's a staple in the quarter turn fitting, and whatever kind of staples or fasteners these are, I tried a test hole way up here and I still hit that fastener. So what I'm going to have to do is join it with a dowel and glue. Yeah, so because I was worried about damaging the 12mm bit that comes with the Invis kit, I drilled a test hole with a standard steel bit first to make sure I wasn't going to hit the staple inside the fitting. All I needed to do was drill a 1/2-inch hole in each piece for a 1-inch dowel. I used the 2P10 spray accelerator from FastCap on this glue joint. I think it helps, but I'm not entirely sure. If you've had success with using accelerator and carpenter's glue, let me know in the comments.
You gotta focus on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah.
So I've wiped the excess glue off this joint. I'm just going to give it probably overnight to dry. Not necessary, but it's the end of the day. And the beauty of this whole Invis system is that I can make up a railing here that's 95 inches long with several joints in it, and I can continue working with this thing the whole time. Don't have to worry about the joints coming apart, and I think it's a really good system. I wanted to point out, if you don't own a domino machine, you can simply drill 2 holes in the end of your railing or fitting with the Lamello Invis drill guide, and use 1 hole for your clamping element and another hole for a 12mm dowel. The final step on this railing project is to sand, stain, and clear finish the assembled railing. As I have mentioned in other railing build videos, you have to sand these joints very well after assembly, as the fittings and railings are not identical. Once the finish is completely done, the railing is secured in place with Bostik adhesive and a heavy-duty screw from U2 fasteners. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. As I mentioned in the beginning, making your own offset railing is not easy. Hopefully this step-by-step approach will help. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, share with friends. Just in case you've been living in a cave somewhere, that's how YouTube works. The more you do that, the more you support the channel, the more I can continue doing these videos. So don't just look at the screen right now, you pencil neck. I see you there smiling. Do that. Take care. Bye.
Hear him say, 6 a.m. and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right.